I should probably point out there's actually 3 different models of the tailBlazer for the Goldwing, and today we're going to install the 25, let's see, it's 25 LED-D. So that's the one we're going to be installing. That's the one that's made specifically for the spoiler. If you do not have a spoiler, you can still install a tailBlazer, but you'll get a different model number. Step 1, remove the latches, little latch hooks on the underside of the trunk lid. Next, unscrew the 15 screws that hold the inner trunk lid liner on. Okay, now our liner is loose, but we have to disconnect the electrical connector underneath to get this to actually come away from the bike. The tailBlazer comes with a little Scotch lock connector, and what that's for is to provide power to the unit, and you have to tap into a power source on the Goldwing. Now, what the manual recommends is that you use the power wire that's actually designed for the trunk latch release mechanism, and that's in that harness that's underneath the trunk lid. It's basically a very light green wire with a black stripe, and what we're going to do is we're going to kind of tap into that wire with this little connector, crimp it down with a pair of pliers, and then we'll use this to plug our tailBlazer into, and that's how it'll get power. Okay, now I'm going to unconnect, or disconnect I should say, the connector to the spoiler, the electrical connector. You can see it here, it's a little white plug. I'm just going to press down here and pop out the connector. Okay, now we simply take our tailBlazer and we're going to plug it right into here, just in line. Just like that. The red wire off the tailBlazer is going to plug into our Scotch lock cap that we put in here. Just like that. It's ready to go. Now I'm going to plug the other end of the connector into the tailBlazer. And we should be ready to go. Now, before I mount the tailBlazer, I've got the Velcro on here. Before I mount it to the bike and before I seal everything up, I want to run a quick test to make sure this thing all works. To do that, I am going to have to plug in my liner just to be safe. Okay, it looks like the system works. I tested it. The running light's working, the flasher's working. Now I'm just going to Velcro put the sticky side back on the underside of the bike. I'm going to mount it up here so it's kind of out of the way so it doesn't hit anything. And then we'll plug our harness back in on the liner, put our liner back in, tighten down all the screws, and let's see how this thing looks. Okay, now we're ready to test our installation. You'll notice when you turn the bike on, the LED on the spoiler is now a running light, so it stays on all the time. If it looks like it's flickering, no problem, that's just the video camera. You apply the brake, and you'll notice the light begins to flash, and it gets slower with each flash. This lets the person behind you know that you are decelerating, that you're coming to a stop.